Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's talk about growing up hip hop Atlanta, season 2, episode 1. So we back in business. We start off with just, Regine and Brandon. Like, come on, that's kind of faded. It's kind of tired, okay? We'll give you first episode, second episode, by the third episode. By the third episode, we don't want to hear about no beef between Brandon and Regine unless it's going to be better than it was last year, because we ain't trying to go there. Well, I ain't trying to go there. So, anyways, we start off with Bow Wow and the jet. You know what I mean? He's in the jet now. He's trying to represent, let everybody know that he has a jet. He got money. He can do the damn thing. And Bow Wow is the epitome of growing up hip hop. So, anyways, he's in the jet. He was like, "This ain't no challenge." Well, if you know, Bow Wow does have a new TV show coming out based on a challenge or whatever with him, the Bow Wow challenge. So he made some paper off of that challenge that he did, and people were shading him and things like that. So, anyways, he's on the jet. He's getting off the jet. You got the cars. This looks so cool. Looks like a little rap video. Well, Hype Williams was probably the producer or whatever. So, anyways, you got the red and you got the black car. I don't know what kind of car they are because I don't drive cars like that. So I don't know, and I'm not really a car person anymore. I used to be back in the day. So, anyways, we find out, Bow Wow's not feeling what happened on the tour, the So Def tour. He was like, we didn't get paid. So basically, Bow Wow is telling us that, JD is just like P. Diddy. He's just like Sean Diddy. He's like Puffy Combs or whatever. And so we already know what JD kind of did to the Escape. He was going to give the other, people that wanted to do the biography on Escape the rights or whatever, whether that was real or not. But so, anyways, it's not a good look for JD, but this is probably just a storyline to make it interesting because JD really don't want to film, but to have a big name like JD on the show, I guess is a big name. And then now he's with Janet Jackson, so he's even much of a bigger name. So he is just like, he's not feeling JD. He took to the Instagram, he took to Twitter, he took to, social media to let everybody know, like, yo, I didn't get paid. And you know what? When you have discrepancies nowadays, what do? You go to the internet. When you go to a restaurant, bad service, bad food, what do? You go to Yep. You go to different places and you voice your opinion on the products. If you go get an oil change, you can do a review. If you order food, you can do a review on the service, the delivery service, the food, everything. So that's what people do nowadays. Back before, we just had to deal with it. We couldn't tell anybody. It was only about word of mouth. But now today you can tell millions of people if you have that platform and if it actually goes viral. So anyways, moving on. So Bow Wow got some issues and things like that. So we find out that Miss Deb and Waka Flocka, they got a radio station called B100. B100. I like that. B100. B100 mother. B100 with me. This is what we talking about. B100. I like the name. So anyways, they have, there's a co-host with Miss Deb. He's cool or whatever. So the brat comes on. The co-host also, I don't know his name. He also said that he got a crush on the brat, but the brat don't swing that way, baby. So anyways, so the brat comes on and, they're having a good conversation. Everything's going around. So they start to talk about, the So Def tour and, what Bow Wow put out there in the media, what Bow Wow said about what was going on. Like Bow Wow wasn't feeling not getting paid. He wasn't feeling the business aspects of the tour. So the co-host asked, the brat about the interview. The brat was like, yo, I hate going to these interviews because these messy people always want to ask you these questions about how you feeling to bring up some negativity. And so the brat answered the question. She was like, Bow Wow is Bow Wow. He's like a 12-year-old kid, and basically he used his platform to express himself. And she was like, some people take drugs, some people drink, some people take shots, some people smoke, but Bow Wow takes to the internet. He uses his fingers, his Twitter fingers or whatever. And so then that's when Deb was like, oh no, that's wrong. That's you breaking the code, boy. We don't air out our business. It's a family type of thing. We keep it 100 between each other. We don't do crap like that. That's not how it goes down. So because Deb is gangster, that people call her the Suge Knight of the South. So she's actually, talking about like we don't do like that to our family. We don't get out there and run our business. Well, it's not what it looked like last year, Miss Deb, when you and Brandon was airing out their business, and when you dissed Brandon in front of an audience of people at his party or his venue that he was showing for a talent. You dissed him and made him look bad in public in front of people. So eat your words on that because it's not true. So because you dissed Brandon and then you took his orders at the same damn time. So don't talk about you don't air out your business because you got on the microphone and you dissed Brandon last year. So, anyways, moving on from that. So the brat was just like, Bow Wow's like, he's like eternally 12 years old. He's eternally a kid. He has problems. He has issues. Basically, he needs to grow up. And so then, we move on to, Toya talking to Regine about the beef with Brandon, which is so boring, which is just like, oh my God, like, it's not interesting anymore. It was interesting last year. It's not interesting this year. So they're talking about, Renee, Regine doesn't really want to meet up with Brandon and whatever, but she's going to give it a shot because she's a new girl. She's a new woman now because she's a college girl now. Okay, amen. She's going to college. Hallelujah. And then Toya lets us know that she's pregnant and it ain't by Wayne. Like we believed it was Wayne. Wayne ain't messed with a dark skinned girl since you, baby. So, after that, Toya was like, she wants to keep her relationship a secret, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Keep it a secret, whatever. Well, I don't care. Maybe people do care. I don't care who she's pregnant by. So, anyways, she's talking about that she wants to squash the beef between Regine and Brandon because it's gonna get out of hand because her family is, want to ask questions. They want to do some rah 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 and all this other stuff. Well, if that's the case, if they want to be rah rah rah, why didn't they go after the people that shut up Wayne's tour bus? Why ain't they going after Baby for stealing Wayne's money? So miss me with that bullshit. So basically, it's all TV for us. Wayne could care less. Wayne's too busy drinking lean. Wayne's too busy getting tore up and smashing strippers. So let's so move on from that. And when Wayne said, Black Lives Don't Matter in that comment and how he said, oh, don't ask me to, I ain't mad at him no more, but he still don't get no love from me. So anyways, we move on to, Toya. And so they're going to meet up. They're going to do all that. So we get Shania and Regine and Zanique. And we get Ayana. Basically, they all meet up. They're chilling. They're going to go out, hang out. Everything's cool. They talk about their relationship. We find out that Zanique is not, she's single right now because her boyfriend was caught cheating on her last year. And, that went kind of like viral. But basically, she's focusing on her music, her EP, doing shows and things like that. So she ain't got time for no man. She's about the business. She's about the money. And then we have Regine. She's talking about, she got a few friends. That's about it. But she don't really got nobody. And then we have Shanice. Shanice has been in a year relationship with a dude with a dude for a whole year. She hasn't told her father about it, and the dude wants to meet her father. So that pretty much says that, the dude that wants to meet her father is probably a good dude. But then on the other hand, he could possibly want to meet JD so he can get a record deal, but he might not get paid if you ask Bow Wow. And so, moving on from that, she's scared to tell JD because, he thinks he believes that every guy is a dog like him that's going to, be terrible to women. So he doesn't really want his daughter to date anybody. And she knows that he's going to have a quaternary. He's going to go off if he finds out that she's been dating. And so we get to Ayana. Ayana, she is back with Amy. Her and Amy are back. And, Ayana was like, Amy, she missed what when I left her. She missed me, like, she didn't appreciate me, but now that when I was gone, she realized how much she wanted this, and so now she's back with me. So Ayana, she's back with Amy. So we'll see Amy, and Amy was probably like, yo, whatever little checks I was getting, whatever little notoriety I was getting, I'm back with you. Or maybe Amy really likes, Ayana. Who knows? I'm just assuming. I could be wrong. And so then we get, and then Regine lets the girls know that she's going to be meeting up with Miss Deb and Brandon. And Ayana was like, come on, we're back to this again. We already know how it's going to end, how it's going to go. So Regine was like, well, I just hope it goes well or whatever, but you already know. So moving on from that, we find out that Brandon has moved back home with, his godmother, Miss Deb. He's back in the house. He's back in the crib because he was like, it's too hard out here on these streets. I was living in a mansion. He was probably living rent free. I don't know if Deb would let him. Well, yeah, Deb would let him live rent free because he's actually doing work for free. Like, coaching her artists or whatever. So, but he's in the studio with Johnny Blaze or whatever, and Johnny Blaze breaks down crying or whatever, and she's having some drama that, Brandon tells us. And the drama is basically with Bow Wow, because everyone's talking about that, Johnny Blaze, she had sex with Bow Wow, Erica Mena's, husband. Erica Mena was never married to Bow Wow, in my opinion. Let me know if they ever got married, because I don't ever remember Bow Wow ever tying a knot and being married. And so basically that's been hitting the blogs, and she's been getting some negative attention for that. But I hope Erica Mena ain't mad, because she was smashing DJ Envy and he was married and she didn't care. So what you put out there, that's what you get. You know what I mean? Like, so if you put the energy out there that you're gonna cheat with a married man, then somebody, when you're in a relationship, people ain't gonna respect your relationship either. You don't get that grace. So hopefully she ain't mad. Hopefully she knows it's just a part of the game when you run the streets, like the way she was running the streets, and she was sleeping with DJ Envy, even though DJ Envy is the one wrong too as well, because he's married and have kids, but she knew it and she got with him. So it just happened to her that she thought she was going to marry Bow Wow, and then, he ended up sleeping with Johnny Blaze. And you know what? I hope Johnny Blaze actually makes it, because Johnny Blaze is a prime example of what's the Me Too movement. But this young lady has been through hell and back since she was a little girl. Like, she has horrific horror stories as a child. And now that she's an adult, like, basically when she got like 18, 17, 18, 19, she got into the business, and people just used her and abused her and just treated her like crap, treated her like the scum. So the reason why you see some of the behaviors and some of the things that, she co-signed and she does, is just because of the way that she was living. She does play musical instruments. She's very intelligent and she can sing. And, it's so much more that she could do if she's actually can get the right help, the right counseling, the right guidance, because she's, watching her interview on Hollywood Unlocked, she's been through hell and back. So you see why her perspective and what she thinks is okay and good. And it's because of what happened to her. This woman has been through it all. I mean, she has been through it. So moving on from that, she's crying with Brandon because she's not hitting the notes. And plus, she's going through a lot of drama right now. People talking negative about Johnny Blaze and all this other stuff. And she's hitting the blogs. And, she got into it with Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop. Atlanta tried to get some girls to fight her. So it's been like turmoil for her. And then this Bow Wow situation. And then also trying to be an artist when she is talented. And she gets involved with people that are artists that say they're going to help her and do things for her, but they only want to use it for one thing. And, and she is like, people think that she's really hardcore, but she is a vulnerable woman. She's very vulnerable because she's been hurt so much and abused and neglected as a child. Like, oh. So anyways, moving on from that. So, we get to Bow Wow. He's in the studio with Big Pimp and NYC. Well, he's in the studio with Pimpin'. I don't know, what kind of name is that? Pimpin'. Okay. So he's in the studio with Pimpin', JD Hook, Pimpin' and, Bow Wow up together. So basically they're making good music. They like the music. Bow Wow doesn't want Pimpin' to share the music with anybody. He doesn't want JD to hear it. He doesn't want the Brat to hear it. He doesn't want anyone to hear the music that he's making. He got about 100 songs. And basically right now he doesn't really trust JD. And he's also jealous because JD is put him on a back burner. JD told him to move to Atlanta and all this other stuff. But JD's out there in out there in LA working with Usher. So it's a big deal to him. And Bow Wow, from what the Brat says, that Bow Wow, he's spoiled. He's like a kid. He gets jealous. He likes to get revenge when you do stuff wrong to him. So we see why by Brat saying that stuff about Bow Wow, you see why him and his relationship with Joy didn't work as well, because he's kind of immature. But when you see him in interviews, he seems very mature, especially on Hollywood Unlocked. He seems very mature, and he makes you want to like him. And but he is an actor. So anyways, and this is a show, so everything could be an act. So anyways, Bow Wow doesn't want JD to hear the music, and he told, Pimpin', don't let, JD use his JD, crystals or his aura or anything to kind of convince him to play the music. Just run, say you don't have it, blase and a third, because he wants to get back at JD. He wants to let JD know that he can't do this to him, because JD is pissed about, Bow Wow is pissed about, not being paid. If you go to work and you don't get paid, wouldn't you be mad? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. He's, Bow Wow said he enjoyed the fans, he enjoyed, everything, but he didn't get paid. So that's a problem. So then moving on from that, um, we get to, Deb and Toya, they meet up at the restaurant and they're talking or whatever. And basically, I thought it was gonna go left because Deb was like, all the only thing that your peoples is doing is just stalk them, are just basically empty threats. Who cares? And so you got Toya saying like, oh no, I protect mines. I protect mines, and I ain't for that rah rah or whatever. Like I got mines, I can do whatever basically. And so Miss Deb was like, hold up, well, this is about to go left. Wait a minute. So they end up working it out where they don't even have a problem with each other, and I don't even think the beef with, Brandon and what's her name, Regine is really real anymore. It probably was real last year, but they realized that people was captivated on the Brandon and Regine situation and probably thought that they can continue to use it, but hopefully they only use it for like 2 more episodes and that's it. So, but we know that's not gonna happen. So anyways, they're gonna meet up or whatever. They're gonna get all the kids. They're gonna get their kids together to meet up. It don't make no sense, but Toya did say like, I taught my daughter to stand up for whatever and not to let anybody disrespect her or mistreat her, including a man. And so when she said that, I was like, damn, but you don't teach your daughter to walk away, that she can't beat a man, that she can't fight a man, she can't fight every battle. Sometimes you can win a battle by being quiet and walking away. Every battle you don't have to say something. Every battle you don't have to argue. Every battle you don't have to scrap. Like, come on, Toya, let's not be one-sided. Like, you want your daughter out here arguing and fighting with men, you know what I mean? And that's what Deb was trying to tell her, like, Regine is lucky that Brandon is tactful. He is that respectful too as well, because any other guy without that doesn't have respect and believes in on GP, you disrespect me on GP, I'm gonna get you, and could have beat her brains and messed her up. And that's what Toya didn't like, that because she feels like no one should be able to touch her daughter. But this is reality. If presidents and leaders can be assassinated, things can happen to Regine. I don't know why I keep calling her Renee. So anyways, then moving on from that, so it's just like, yo, you're not going to be around your daughter 24/7. She's not going to have security with 24/7. And sometimes she might be the straw that broke the camel's back in one instance, where she feels like, oh, I'm going to just be nasty to this person. This person could have been going through hell and back, and then she's the straw that broke the camel's back, and then she have retaliation. So, anyway, so moving on from that, the kids are going to meet up and talk. And we'll see how that goes. And so then we get to Neek. Neek, she meets up with her mom or whatever, meets up with her mom. I think she still lives with her mom or whatever. And so basically they're talking about, Neek wants to go on tour. She wants to, do more shows or whatever. And, Tiny's like, yo, how come you ain't really doing shows and things like that? You haven't really been doing long sets and stuff like that. What's up with your management? And I believe Deb is still managing Neek. I'm not sure. But maybe for show purposes that she's probably is. So anyways, then Neek was like, yeah, I need to do more of this and Blase the third. So Tiny was like, well, won't you come on tour with us, Blase the third? It's gonna be me, it's gonna be Escape, it's gonna be Tamar, it's gonna be Monica. You'll get a broad brand of experience, band of experience, and you'll be able to see different things. You'll be performing in front of a huge crowd. It'll be good practice, it'll be good for you and all this other stuff. Neek is like, I don't know, whatever, Blase the third, I don't want, it's kind of not a good idea to go up there with legends. These guys are legends and I'm just a newcomer. Old R&B with new R&B. Baby, you should want both R&B. You should want the old and the new. You should want to be able to sing the new and the old, do the new and the old, and have the new and the old. No, because that means your cheddar would never stop, baby. Neek, what's going on? Tiny, T.I., you ain't teaching your daughter how to get that money, how to get that check. Like, yo, baby, stop it. Like, she should already know, but maybe it's for the show purpose that she's acting like she doesn't want to do the tour with Escape, because anybody would want to be on that tour, to perform, especially if they're up and coming artists. And, this is what you call privilege that, Zynique has, where she can debate, because, rappers are, any type of singer will want this type of platform to be able to go on a tour with legends and get new fans and get fans that are loyal, because look at the support of, these fans are coming out to support Escape and Monica over the years. So you'll have dedicated fans, you know what I mean? So moving on from that, she's like, I don't know, blah blah blah, and third, and Tiny was like, you would want both, like, ain't that what you want? The exposure, the experience, like, you putting your name out there, like, you're on a huge platform. So Zanique was like, I'll think about it. And so Zanique was like, well, maybe before you tell the ladies, just let me wait on it. But we all know that Zanique went on tour, like, she ain't no dummy. Her father must have sat her down, her mother sat her down, like, girlfriend, this is the biggest thing you probably ever gonna do in your life. But not really, because she has so many more years to go. So anyways, moving on from that, we have Bow Wow and the Brat. They meet up. Basically, the Brat wants to hear Bow Wow new music, and the Bow Wow was like, no, I'm not trying to get, I got 100 songs, I'm trying to let you hear none. He was like, yo, you don't feel some type of way about not getting paid? And that's when the Brat was like, yo, you selfish, you're this, you're that, like, you don't air out the business, you're a spoiled child. And she was like, yo, you just, the statement that, because Bow Wow was like, yo, JD's over there in LA working with Usher. And so that's when, the Brat was like, yo, you point that out just because you're being jealous of the situation. You're jealous. And she was just like, yo, you need to grow up. You're like a forever Toys R Us kid. Like, when you gonna grow up? When you gonna be mature? Like, yo, JD has a good ear, this and that. He can have a good ear, but if he ain't gonna pay me, I ain't gonna give him no music if he ain't gonna pay me. But Brat does have a point that he's really doing it because he's upset. But why he get paid? Did you get paid, Brat? Did you and JD, did you get paid? Because if you didn't get paid, Brat, and you this loyal, you go, girl. And so anyways, she was like, yo, when you want to play me that music, I don't effing want to hear it. Peace, I'm out. And she was like, F you, fuck you. I was like, the Brat went in on Bow Wow. She was just like, you're selfish, you're rotten, you're not smart, you're a kid, you're childish. I was like, oh shit. I was like, Brat, why? It seems like Brat wanted to punch him in his face. She wanted to hit him upside his head. It seems like the Brat wanted to hit Bow Wow upside his head. I thought that was funny. And so, and she was like, Bow Wow wants to get at people that's not in his lane. He feels like he got to jump into like P Diddy's lane. He got to jump into like JD's lane or whatever. He jump into these people's lane that he's not even in, and he want to have issues like with Usher and all these other people. He get upset, he wants to have confrontations with them, or he wants to pull rank. So we see why Bow Wow may have lost some of his friends along the line of the years, because one minute he's cool with them, the next minute he's not. So it's all good, right? So moving on from that, and then also, the Brat called, Bow Wow's like one of them Tyrese kids. She called them, he's like Tyrese, like Cryreese, when she was at the interview with Miss Deb at B100. I like B100. That's just on point. So anyways, so Regine, Deb, Toya and Brandon, they meet up there at the restaurant. So it's gonna go down. It's going down. It's going down. So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love to all my peeps and my peoples.